Well, hey there, everyone.
Ahoy, hoy.
I'm putting my phone on Do Not Disturb because I should have done that earlier. And welcome to the final Star Trek Discovery Tex-Trek, first reaction stream. Unless there's a movie in 2 years.
Let's hope.
I do genuinely want that, but
I have questions that I need answered. I need more adventures.
Starfleet Academy just becomes Discovery Part 2.
This is true. I'm also okay with this. Does everyone want to go around and introduce themselves?
Apparently not.
No. I'm Marcelo. I'm a writer, a podcaster, and a YouTuber.
I'm Aaron. I'm a graphic designer, author, and improviser.
I'm RC. I'm game master for the Masks and Mayhem podcast with Rachel.
Hey.
I'm Stanley. I'm a Gemini. 6 other fun facts. No, I'm the co-host of the Salon at Salon Trek that goes on after this show at 6:30 p.m. Pacific. Hope to see you all there. And also an improviser. Aaron, we still need to chat about that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Are you actually a Gemini though?
Yeah. May 22nd.
May 21st.
See, I'm a Scorpio, and nothing about that fits my personality, so I don't tend to freak it up.
I also know nothing about horoscopes. I just ever since Marcelo was introducing himself so professionally, I was just like, I need something silly to say.
Sorry, Stan. I didn't.
No. Like you are great. I am just a totally non-serious person.
I was like, also, hi, I'm Rachel. I'm here every week, and the other thing I do pretty regularly, RC already mentioned. So. I guess. So, what did everyone think about the series finale of Star Trek Discovery?
I loved it. There's one particular moment when I was watching it, and I lost my mind because I'm a huge Saru fan, and I'm a huge Doug Jones fan. And the moment when he dresses down a particular character, he basically, just the way that he does it. I'm like, this is why Doug Jones is so many levels of cool. Like, I just lost my mind. And we do find out the secret behind Kovich. I was like, no way. I lost my mind for that as well. Also, I love how the writers of this episode tied everything up to Calypso, something that I was kind of thinking for a couple weeks. And I got my wedding. Woo!
Yeah.
And they finally kissed.
Yes,
yeah.
they did.
They finally figured out how to make his prosthetic work for it.
Just pivot the right direction.
Yeah.
For a partially Vulcan wedding, they were very joyous people. They was like, yeah. I'm like, that seems out of place.
I never remember. Was she Vulcan or was she Romulan? I guess the societies merged to a degree.
Yeah. I guess maybe. Yeah.
They seem to indicate that she was mostly Vulcan, but it seems like the Romulan reunification has definitely impacted Vulcanness.
Yes, I would agree with that.
And probably Romulanness. They're probably coming together more in the middle.
Middle
hopefully.
ground.
Yeah.
I think that is by far the best solution. Is both of y'all need to chill.
I really
Stop
enjoyed
putting
the episode.
secret doors in your house and all that. The Romulans.
I thought the episode was super cool. I did think it was kind of an unusual pacing. The denouement of the episode definitely came earlier than I was expecting it to, and so I think a lot of it worked to a degree because it was the series finale. We were wrapping a lot of stuff up beyond just the main plot of this season, which I also thought was handled in a pretty cool way, and also opens up a new mystery door.
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad they didn't wrap up every mystery.
Yeah.
They left a little something.
What about their creators?
Yeah, that too.
That was really cool. I love that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Very Ancients and Stargate kind of feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was a twist that I wasn't seeing that I didn't see coming, because we were led to believe that the Progenitors were the creators of us, and to find out that they sort of are just the stewards of this technology and they're sort of just watching it for somebody else. I'm like, who the hell is this somebody else? So
it'd be so funny to. I'm glad they didn't wrap that up as well, but I just kept thinking What if somebody came along and was like, "You all messed up our planets. You used our technology to create life. Gross.
Yeah.
We had all these pretty landscapes
The
all over the
slavers.
galaxy, and you put people on them. Ugh."
I've got it. It's the people behind that technology are whatever tentacle monster was coming out at the end of season 1 of Picard.
Yes,
There you go.
There you go.
it's AI again. Nah.
Yeah.
No, I'm imagining they're like that meme where it's like the angels look at what God's done. You gave the monkeys anxiety. What's this? Like,
Or
If it's
the
AI, does that mean like we're all generative Phil, basically?
yeah.
I'm
Ow.
maybe it's somehow time travel related and we're our own creators.
Mm.
That would be a very
That's
Star
very
Trek
Star
way to
Trek.
handle it.
It
Yeah.
would be.
Yeah, I
That was almost
also
a
love-
movie.
Yes. I also love this episode. I thought they wrapped things up beautifully. This has been my favorite season of I love this show. I've had my nitpicks. I have my nitpicks of this episode and every episode of all of them, but that's how I show my love, but not in a douchey way like some people on Twitter. It was beautiful. The performances were incredible. I loved the Daniels thing. I didn't need them to do that, but when that happened, I was like, oh, that's neat, that's cute. It didn't feel too fan servicey or anything like that. It was a nice button on the mystery of Kovich. With the epilogue, I thought was first of all beautiful. Seeing Michael in a relationship, happy, 40-ish years later, having their son, naming him Lido. More new costumes, which by the way are immediately became
Everything's great.
my favorite.
Yeah.
Like especially Lido's. I think Burnham's
Delta's
Admiralty
nice.
has a little too much gold going on, but she still looked amazing.
Yeah.
But that captain's uniform and also super hot.
Yep.
That captain's hot. And
I think
and
that's what,
That
like,
is
if it
correct.
wasn't a hot captain, you might not think the same about the uniform.
right.
Yeah.
Right. And I also and the last thing I'll say is the wrapping, the connection to Calypso. I also felt like I didn't need that. It works for me. I liked how they kind of made it a dream. Like they were. I liked how they were piecing things throughout, and then of course now that they got the axe, unfortunately they needed to actually tie it up. Like I was watching The Ready Room, and Michelle Paradise said, ever since I came on board, which was after Calypso, they knew that they were going to tie it in somehow. And so they felt like they needed to do that when they got the cancellation early. So I'm glad they got to do what they wanted to do and planned on.
Yeah.
But like, I'm cool with it. It's cool. It's fun. It was also not something that I needed. I didn't need these people to feel like years later I must tie this into something creative people decided a few years ago.
Yeah.
But it still worked, and it was awesome watching the ship jump one last time. Beautiful episode.
I
The
really
other-
enjoyed that Burnham. They made her older, but not like that really badly fakey
Oh my
old. I mean,
God.
it looks
They
like okay,
actually
she could actually look like that at that
They
age.
actually figured out that people actually age pretty subtly, especially in the future. Like,
As opposed to
also,
the McCoy,
listen, I'm a white man, but I feel comfortable saying black don't crack.
yeah,
Like,
that's
they're gonna those two actors are gonna look fucking fantastic into their 90s.
Yeah.
They're gorgeous. Both of them are gorgeous, and they will be forever.
Also, regarding that captain's uniform, I like it a lot. I don't like that the pips are like directly centered now. That seems
yeah, it's a
weird to
little
me.
Oh, we're gonna duke it out. I loved that.
I,
The bar thing of the season 4 on one always bothered me because I felt like it would chop
Yeah.
at them. But having just pips right there, like I'm looking at you, I'm having a conversation with you. I can clearly see that you're a captain, not 4 tiny little bumps on your comm badge.
God, that was wild.
But fair enough. All right, I'm gonna stop interrupting.
I think I will have always lost this as someone who, for sensory reasons, does not love wearing turtlenecks. I'm always like, I was like, poor whoever with ADHD in the future has to wear these all day. Wouldn't it be great? Like, it'd be terrible if I was the last one to be like, this episode was terrible. But no, I love this episode. It was great. I especially knowing that they like they were able to go back and film stuff, but they didn't know when they originally wrote the episode that it would be the final episode. I thought it was really, really well done. And though I'm curious, like, I'm pretty sure I know what parts were, like, the parts they filmed after, but there's a couple scenes where I'm like, I could see that either way, so.
I think everything before the wedding and before was the actual episode.
Yeah.
Them walking off to go to Kovich was the end of the season, and then
That's what
everything after was the coda.
I
Yeah.
couldn't, this is the one thing, I cannot tell if the wedding was part of the original episode.
It
or-
was. They
Okay.
I forget who said it. But I had the same question, so I went digging and
Okay, cool.
yeah,
That's what I
the
was
wedding was planned.
Because so I thought the wedding would be planned, and my only question was David Ajala's hair had changed so much that I was like, maybe David Ajala just was like, maybe that stuff was like new.
I think it was just because they said like the Chiron, not Chiron,
Yeah.
it's not news, but the thing said
Subtitles.
several weeks later.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's went to a salon. Good for him.
Yeah, shows a passage of time.
Yeah.
I look
I-
like
You
it's
didn't
been
get a
weeks
chance
of cutting my hair last week.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a question somebody would have asked, but we weren't allowed to ask questions last night. We saw, some of the actors and Michelle Paradise. And she goes, "You might not know who I am." It's like they go like, no, we don't. It's like I played Saru the entire time. So she's like, she walks out and she's trying to do, and Doug Jones is like, "Don't quit your day job," kind of trying to do the Saru walk. It was very cute. But Sonequa Martin Green is in Omaha right now. So, or Oklahoma, sorry. So she wasn't able to be there, but she sent a text, so that was kind of cool.
That's fun.
There's one. Oh, I'm sorry, Garcia. Go ahead.
There's more of a question. Because admittedly, I watched this a lot of the episodes I had to watch like while I was at work. Did we get a resolution to Moll? Like I felt like I remember her being like, you can't use this technology to bring him back, and then teleporting away. And then was that the last we saw of her, or am I?
No.
She was in that medical bay, and then they're
that's
like,
right,
I'm going
okay.
to the brig for a while, and like Kovich has plans for me.
Oh yeah, Kovich. Okay,
Yeah.
but all right, but that let's say that
Not a
was
choice.
right, yeah, and that's when she went and also met with Kovich. And
I like how she's
Like-
like softened too, like the outfits, the change, it's like everything.
Yeah.
They just made her like a little happier.
But I did wonder. I think it was part of the original episode, but that the Daniels reveal, I did wonder if that was like we're gonna film this real quick, so because we wanted it to be a Discovery and like.
Why do you have Geordie's visor?
Yeah.
So I guess the main thing that I saw was the bottle of Chateau Picard, the visor, and the baseball.
When-
Which I gotta
the,
say, I feel like
The
those
visor,
must be replica.
the visor is the creepiest. If you actually
Yeah.
ask Jordy.
If it was actually his visor, that would be very creepy.
Unless he got it from like a collector or something like
Right,
Yeah.
that. But it was funny because when we watched it as a group, there was this half a second beat that I guess everybody at the theater also had. It's like, is he Cisco? And it was like, because I was sitting next to my friend Eliza Pearl, who was my captain on our improvised show, and she's an African American woman, and I'm like, that would be really bad optics, and she's just like, they could do it. It's like, but yeah, so she's like, she kind of grabs me, and she's like, is that no, it's Daniels. Okay, good. It was very funny because they ended with the baseball.
Occurred to me for a moment that that's where they were going, because I was like, they would not hire a white actor to play this.
Yeah, it's like, why would you turn him into a white old man? That's like that's a bad idea.
Throughout the run of Discovery in the 32nd century, did we ever hear about anything going on in Bajor?
We saw him on a map.
Oh, is it?
There were Bajorans in the show. Asha
Yeah.
is Bajoran.
Oh, that's right. Isn't there a bit half Bajoran, half
If-
Cardassian as well?
Yeah, the president is like
president,
half Bajoran,
really?
half Cardassian.
Yeah.
So that Bajor in some way exists then, or like Bajorans at least.
Right.
kind of
Sure. I was just basically the talk about Cisco made me wonder what's going on with the Celestial Temple.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's interesting, like if Bajor and Cardassia are kind of like what the Klingons and the Romulans, like if the people are kind of like re-merging and kind of coming back together.
Mm.
I mean, I have seen.
Well, they
the
were never
theory-
together, but
I
I
have
mean,
seen the theory that
living
they
together.
are like distantly related because they're able to like have a child naturally, as opposed to like.
Yeah. Well, they're all related distantly.
I was gonna say, yeah, they're all
Yes,
distantly
they're
related.
all distantly related
As we
to the
learn.
progenitors.
Yeah.
This is true. I also
The one thing.
speaking of progenitors, I really liked that the progenitor was black.
Hmm.
That it was like it's not just some weird white pasty thing.
Yeah, that actor
Like
did a great job. I was thinking it would have been cool if Solemn Jens did it, but she's almost 90, hasn't acted in a decade. She's not getting in that makeup. She's not flying to Toronto to get into that makeup.
Was that the
that
actress that
actress
did
did a
it
great
back in the
job.
other episode?
No, that I could even see her if anyone reached out to her being like, no, like
Yeah, I
Baseball.
like one moment of this episode drove me absolutely insane. All I wanted to do is I wanted to go to Secret Nightmare Green and say, "Can I just fix one thing? Just go up a little bit." The wedding, her hair, it looked fantastic, but she had one thing, like it was so out of place. I wanted her braid. It was sticking out like on the top of her forehead. Did you see it? Like I just wanted to go.
that's
Can I
on
move it up a
purpose.
little bit? That's on purpose.
Yeah, that's like
Oh,
just
okay.
a stylistic
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
choice.
Mhm.
Okay, well, I was
Like,
I
like,
think
I
they
would
wouldn't
do
have
that-
shot it if they had
Yeah,
kind of
I sometimes do that with my hair, not here because I have
Oh,
headphones
okay.
on, but like
Right,
yeah, I
right.
just kind of little swoop.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
I love
because-
salon treks.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
like hilarious if he just
Um,
popped in to grab his baseball and left.
Yeah,
I'm
we
sorry.
see
Yeah.
Cisco again just
Yeah.
to come get his baseball.
Yeah. That's
I
that's
said
the
I'd be
only-
back.
That's the only way. The last we haven't seen Avery Brooks in anything for so long.
And he goes,
Um,
"Bebop, boop, bop, bop,
Or
bop."
they digitize them the way they did with Colbert.
yeah. No,
what?
but having
What with Colbert?
Wilson Cruz wasn't available for the hugging on the bridge scene.
Really? I didn't
Yeah,
know
so
that.
that's all digital. Watch it again, and
Oh, okay.
aside from the yes, that's obviously him from another shot,
Yeah.
like face on,
Mhm.
it's very barely noticeable, but it's like, yeah, that is a
We saw it
different
on a
man
big screen.
altogether.
so-
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, he wasn't available to do that.
I've heard
I,
a lot
No.
of people complaining about Owa and Detmer. Like,
yes.
oh, they're keeping them apart. They're
I-
keeping them away. Like, they had
were-
other things to do.
Yeah,
like
they were-
nobody
But-
planned on shooting this coda.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it felt like people just want to complain about something. It was
Mhm.
just
Yes.
really
No, but-
annoying.
No, it was
As
it
you
was
know-
clear that last scene, which I appreciated, was hey, we didn't know this is the last episode. It's weird if Jet, Oo, and Detmer aren't in the last episode. So let's all hug.
Yeah. Well, and it was funny. I watching it the second time is when I saw Tig Notaro's name in the opening credits, and I was like, "Where was she?" Oh, for that.
Yeah.
Like that is a credit.
Yeah.
I am on screen.
Yeah, that is definitely it's really
Dream
weird.
Reno.
Yeah, it's really weird if you're not in the final episode. Please come to Toronto for 2 days.
No.
Yeah, I'm a humongous fan of Kayla Detmer. She's my favorite next to Michael Burnham, and the way that again, they obviously didn't know this would be the final season,
Mhm.
but the way they kind of just took her character out of the show really made me angry as a fan. And
Well,
I
it
did
was confirmed this week. They were both busy.
right.
season.
Because the actress was shooting a short film,
Really?
right?
Yeah, I think she her own
Yeah.
film
Yeah.
or something. She's
Right, which
independent
is fine.
producing. Yeah.
Which
I'll
is fine.
say it again. I liked the way that season 5 ended up cycling through different people at various
Mhm.
stations, because this
More
show was
realistic.
never show was never intended to be about a bridge crew. It's about
Mhm.
Burnham and a few others around her, depending on the story of that season. So cycling around different characters, like we got a little bit more of Linus this season than we did in the past, especially since Philippa was gone. But it like Aaron said, it looked more realistic. It looked more like how a starship would be. Like, yeah, the captain needs to be there during the action, but if they get there during beta shift, then maybe Oo and Detmer are just asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
I like
Yeah,
Linus.
yeah,
I
or-
like getting to see more of him.
Yeah. I'm always pro seeing more Linus.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'd be able
Rayner-
to sleep through all of that, but sure.
Rayner was also in the hugging scene, right?
Yeah.
Which I was like, I'm glad you're joining the family, buddy.
Rayner doesn't seem like a person to me that would hug, but okay.
Yeah.
They're
'Cause-
getting to him. They're teaching them him.
yeah, they
ways.
get to him, right?
Yeah.
The
They get
actor
into-
at the event felt like it seemed like he's like, oh, this is what conventions are going to be like. He had that kind of like glazed, sort of like too many people kind of feel.
I saw a video of him, and he had the energy of Paul Rudd being the final episode of Friends. Of just being like, why am I here?
Oh.
Like,
Why am I?
he was like, it's weird because everyone is so emotional, and I've been on the show for like a season and a half.
I'm gonna say something controversial yet brave. I want Column to get the same treatment that Todd Stashwick was getting. Because they've compared Rayner to Shaw so much, which I have found like I kind of get it on one hand, but on the other, Rayner is an asshole. And he has some reasons to distrust the Breen, and his dealings with them were an issue. Shaw is a straight up bigot and an asshole to his first officer, and it never worked for me that last episode we get a clip of him. Oh, I'm going to record this really nice video about my first officer, and then be a complete dick to her for the next 3 weeks, and it's fine.
Yeah.
So I love him as a character and what he did for the show, but I keep seeing too many people being like, yeah, Shaw was amazing and did nothing wrong. Like, no, Bull was a bigot, and I'm glad he died.
No, it was like one of those where I was like, I'm enjoying it because Todd Stashwick is a really good actor, and it's fun to watch him. But that does not mean I like this person.
Yeah, 100%. Todd Stashwick is great.
Yeah.
He's a nice guy in person. Like I talked to him like at his book signing.
I talked to him at a convention in Austin, and we started talking about Torchy's tacos. Todd Stashwick was great. Like, but no, I think that describing Rayner as grumpy during the wedding, I was like, yeah, that's what he is. Like, that's.
I love when she's like, I'm just gonna go over here now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm leaving.
But it was like, I just thought when, like, because we talked about how he could be good on the Discovery show. I was like, he does have good, and I'm not saying romantic. That would be a really weird age difference, but good chemistry with Mary Wiseman. That I was like, I want to see them continue to act against each other.
It would be cool.
Did you all
Sorry,
go ahead.
I was gonna say it'd be cool if he was in the Academy show.
Yep.
Yeah.
I also
We saw the Academy guy for 4 seconds. The one that she
He's
was
so hot.
playing
I
on.
needed more screen time.
Wait,
with him.
I missed him. Where was he? Was he at the wedding?
He was with Tilly.
He was
Yeah.
at Tilly. Okay. Over my head. Trying to think the other. I guess I also I think of the actual episode. I thought the progenitor tech, like that area, looked really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I love the way it
use
played
of
with
the AR
gravity.
wall.
Yeah, the way they did that
Yeah.
was incredible.
I want to
Also
draw
from
that
like
as a
special.
poster, so I'm like trying to figure out how like it all interacts and interlocks with each other because it's a lot. It's almost like
I figured it was an Escher
optical
painting.
illusion. Yeah, that's kind of what it is. Like,
Yeah.
how am I supposed to do this? Like, okay.
Oh, real quick before we move on from the wedding,
Yeah.
it's on in the background. Did you all catch Saru's promotion?
No.
No. What is it?
I don't know, like it's coming up here now, but Admiral Vance says Admiral, not Ambassador, Madam President. Congratulations.
Oh.
Oh,
I'm
that's
fairly certain, and I was like, I could see that happening because like he
Yeah.
does still technically have his commission, and like, oh well, you're Admiral, Madam President, congratulations.
Okay, yeah.
Subtle. And I wonder if it was like, I wonder if it was an accident.
Yeah.
Yeah, that,
I like
it'd be
that.
weird to like
Yeah.
not only say that because we weren't assuming that was going to happen. So
Yeah.
it wasn't like, okay, we have to button that up for the audience or anything.
Yeah, the first time I saw that, I was like, what?
Omar Sharif might have just made a mistake and gave a character promotion.
And like
Is that a
it could make
promotion?
sense. Like he's not an active Starfleet officer,
Yeah.
but he's serving as an ambassador, so we're gonna give him the rank of admiral to match
Yeah.
his hierarchy and governmental bullshit and blah 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 blah.
Like-
blah.
I mean, I've always taken it that like there's obviously a lot of connection, but the Federation and Starfleet are separate entities. So like being an ambassador in Starfleet or in the Federation doesn't mean you're part of Starfleet. That's always been my take. I'm just
No,
saying.
I don't. Yeah, I don't think all the ads.
So-
I think he is an ambassador who still technically has a Starfleet commission.
That would make sense. I was saying because that would just imply to me that he's no longer an admiral or no longer an ambassador now, and has rejoined his retaken his commission.
TOS, the episode with
or there's a very
Cochrane.
good chance they meant to say ambassador. Like,
but they didn't, so that's not how the canon goes down.
Wasn't the person she wasn't she a
and a couple years from now they'll canonize that Admiral Vance was drunk. Like,
Sorry, I was trying to say hi. I'm Admiral Vance, and then
yeah.
I wanted to mention on the front of like special effects, I thought, and just in terms of a story concept, the splitting of Discovery and using it as like a transporter weapon was amazing.
We got to see them separate finally.
I will say that is some serious finale shit. We're gonna use
That's
this
cool.
forward drive in an insane fucking way.
That's really cool.
It was Breen to the galactic barrier and basically created a whole ship full of Gary Mitchells. But that's a problem for the Academy show.
Voyager Breen edition.
Yeah.
Like,
Nope. But I really liked it because it really, to me, it really had shades of Encounter at Farpoint when we first saw the Enterprise D do its thing with the saucer section splitting off.
Well, there was a tweet that went out before it was either season 1 or right before the show started, where I think it was, the Alex Kurtzman's dog. Remember he had that for a while where it was like his dog was tweeting, which obviously it wasn't, but he's like, so in the TOS era, how long does it take for a ship to, the saucer section to separate?
Yeah.
And then you had the people like, it doesn't separate. And then it's like, yes, it actually can. Because they talked about, Scotty even mentions it, or Kirk says it to Scotty in the Apple, like, if you have to separate the saucer section and it just, you can't put it back together like in TNG. It's just, you have to take it to a starbase to have it reconnected.
I can answer Benji's question real quick. It depends on the function and the rules of the military. So you're asking about Starfleet, I don't know, but like, not to conjure these assholes, but like the royals in Britain, this is why you'll see the king and the prince, because everybody in the royal family will serve in the military. Depending on the event, they'll be in uniform.
You usually can wear your uniform to your wedding, especially your wedding.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my ex. I guess I'm still a military brat. So would live on military bases.
Yeah, but isn't it? I'm not sure about this, but isn't it standard practice for any military member to wear their dress blues to like any formal event? I mean, I'm not saying it's a rule or anything.
If you're active duty.
If you're active duty, yes. And then it's fairly common to be like, hey, you're getting married, yeah.
Yeah.
The exception, like, women don't usually, because women usually want to wear like a wedding dress.
Right.
But Starfleet's totally not a military, so who knows?
They need to make a wedding dress version of the uniform.
I mean, I think technically if, like, Deanna Troi had wanted to wear her dress uniform to get married, and she could have, but I assume she went, no, I want to wear a wedding dress.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no,
or nothing.
She obviously wanted to be naked.
Yeah.
That's true.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they were going to go have one of those ceremonies. Then they got, the plot happened.
Yeah, the plot happened.
Yeah.
And then the plot.
Sometimes you're out and about and plot happens.
Yeah. What else about this episode? Okay, I had one thing. That scene where, like, she's like, here, I'm going to explain to everyone why we should not we should not have the Progenitors tech. But I was immediately like, 100% no one should have this.
Correct.
I thought it was odd that Tilly wasn't in that scene.
Yeah.
That I was just like, they're like, hey, have everyone gather. And I was like, where's Tilly?
And I know what they were trying to say, but it also felt like, we've got enough diversity. It just kind of felt like we don't want to make any more.
There's enough.
I think Michael's entire thing should have been like, please stop putting responsibility on me.
Yeah. I literally do not want any of this at this point.
I'm done. Thank you.
But no, she's like, my whole thing is that I keep taking responsibility and everyone keeps telling me to stop. And now you're trying to give me the most responsibility in the world?
No, I quit. I'm going home.
Yeah.
I was honestly a little surprised though that she didn't get in some kind of trouble for it. But I guess it was this. I guess it was the if it was the season finale or series finale, so they wouldn't. But I feel like if it would have gotten another season, she would have gotten in trouble for like giving away a massive tactical advantage.
Yeah.
I
assumed they were going to do this. I figured one of two things will happen: either they will lose it in a battle, or they will make the choice. I'm glad they went with. I'm glad they made the choice to make it a choice.
Yeah.
Is that I think it ties in the story really well, and it fits Burnham's character. It like. She's had a lot of pressure on her so many times, like we were just saying, that she can be trusted with this decision, and she made the right one.
Although this is a society that had to ban time travel because of like everyone was using it to fight each other, so maybe they're like, no, correct, don't do that again. Like, because I remember when we kind of watched it as a group, and they were that line where they were like, you're gonna have to answer to Admiral Vance and President Rillick, and I was like, I think she's gonna have to answer to Kovic. Like, although Kovic seemed to be like, that was correct. Like,
I love clients messaging me during shows. Like, go away.
But no, I just love. She's like, no one should have this much responsibility. Jesus Christ! Like,
to answer this question, my presumption was always so. The question is: didn't the season imply to us that the technology was valuable? What did this technology have to do with infinite diversity and infinite combination? So, yes, they implied that it was valuable in that non-Federation powers probably would have paid a lot of money to get this technology, because it was also insinuated that it could be used to create or destroy life. So what it had to do with it, this was the technology that the progenitors used to seed life throughout the galaxy. So that's where the diversity came from.
Yeah.
What I want now is like a conversation between a few characters of like, oh man, this wasn't the progenitors' tech. What does it say about the progenitors that they chose to seed life? That they thought that they had the authority to do so.
Listen, I understand loneliness very well.
Yeah.
And I see when they were like, hey, we were the only ones, so we decided to make some more.
Maybe because we know they died out, maybe they realized they were dying and they didn't want all life ever to die.
Well, I'm trying to figure out, like, in the timeline where that fits with the slavers, which I know is TAS, but there at one point they basically wiped out all life across the galaxy. It seemed like so, and it had to start over.
Some Noah's Ark stuff going on.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if that happened before or after. It's like if it happened before, then maybe they're just like, now we're putting the ones that did manage to survive, because you'll never get 100%.
Yeah.
Makes me think of the Forerunners from Halo. If anybody's played those games. Well, everything about the progenitors, just put that in a more military context.
Wow.
I as far as pacing goes, I'm glad that when she fell into that, like, the place with the hurricane force winds, that she was not there for 35 minutes.
Yes.
I was like really worried. I'm like, oh no, we're stuck in one of these things again. But no.
That was a really cool fight as they were jumping around. I have one thing though, because at the end of that fight, she's like, "Stand down. We don't have to fight." And I was like, "Didn't Burnham start this by like jump kicking her?"
Thank you. I thought the same thing.
She needed to get rid of
Also,
that
you
weapon.
could have just let her bleed out then.
Well, also that was interesting. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just saying, I thought it was interesting that she, like, we saw this whole clever moment of her figuring out how to use the wind to get herself up, and then the Breen person was just there, like, just immediately at the same time. But also that poor Breen, like, it almost seemed like a waste that they had that Breen, like, climb out and be okay, and then Moll immediately just shoots him anyway.
Because we saw one of the Breen dead, and then that one, right? That was all the...
Yeah. There were 3 that ended up in there.
Yeah.
Right? One that she found that was dead, one that she knocked away, and then the one that Moll killed. Can we talk about Moll? Can I rant a little bit?
Go ahead.
Yes, go ahead.
I continue not to like Moll. I don't know this actress's other work, so I'm not going to say that she's a bad actor, but I thought she was making bad choices throughout the run. Personal opinion, I'm sure she's great, but the shimmying side to side, the only anger, this was the one miss from the hair and makeup team, like that shake and bake wig. That
Mike's
disgusting
Blade
smoky
Runner.
eye, like that bitch has not washed her face since episode 1. Like
that's not makeup. That's just how her face looks. It's how,
Yeah.
it's how she's like a specific.
some humans are just a mess. That puzzle was not that difficult,
No.
but her like I have it for the salon because the closed captioning says groaning. It was like new reaction GIF. Because it's just her. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna say it, making a weird choice, like I'd rather be dead. And like I found myself in my watching the second time thinking, man, this would have been so much better if it was Locke trying to save Moll. Like he if he accepted his destiny specifically to bring her back, it just would have worked a lot better for me. And like I'm sure she's great. But like her choices throughout, just miss after miss after miss for me. Like it was too. It felt like she was trying to be camp, and if you're trying to be camp, you're not.
Yeah.
We did decide that her pattern buffer, though, that's her locket.
Cute.
We did that. That was you and I, Rachel, right? Wasn't it?
I think yeah.
Yeah.
I think you came up with the plan. I wish I could take credit for it.
So yeah, does like Locke get buried now, or like whatever Breen do?
Also, like, could you put him in the pattern buffer like 2 seconds after he was like? You kind of let him sit. Like, it's not going to make a difference at this point.
My theory is that there were like the Breen weren't letting her.
Oh,
because she didn't put him in the pattern buffer till after.
That's true.
His uncle died. I forgot his uncle's name.
You and the dog.
Yeah.
How long can a person be in a pattern buffer without having any degradation? Because you do remember that
Scotty was in there for a while.
Yeah,
80 years, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did forget that Kirk died.
80 years? Yeah. Sorry. 80. He was in the bar. He was in the pattern buffer for 80 years.
Thereabouts, right? I'm not too far off.
I think that's.
I mean, the other dude did degrade. So like, I don't think it's a suggested course of action.
But since it's the 32nd century, I'm assuming that
that's true.
Improved things much more.
Considering you can keep it on your wrists, I have to imagine that, like, at a minimum, they've miniaturized the technology.
Right. I mean, it's quite handy. No, the main reason
75 years.
Okay, he was stuck there for 75 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, Brian, you're right. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes.
The main reason why I was saying it is because Dr. Mbanga had his daughter in the pattern buffer on the Enterprise for how long?
That's quite, I think, just to be a couple of years. Like,
they did take her out like on a regular basis. She came out like they had to do it.
I think that had less to do with degradation and more to the fact she was dying.
Right.
More to do with whatever illness was actively killing her.
But don't worry, she's in a nebula now. It's fine.
Yeah.
Maybe she'll come back one day.
I love explaining Star Trek to people because then you say shit like that and they look at you like you're insane.
I had an opportunity today. So, speaking of improv, I'm in a all queer improv class with a queer instructor, and each week we have a different homework assignment to bring into class and put into our scenes. This week was to come to class prepared to talk about some kind of obsession that you have, and I talked about Trek technology and how like the lack of regulations around the holodeck, and I talked about how Captain Janeway burning something out of the replicator was dumb and sexist, etc. And then
it doesn't make sense.
The person I was explaining this to had to then initiate a series of scenes with everybody else in the class, me watching around Star Trek technology, and it was
fun.
hilarious because there are two other Trek fans that I know of in the class. But then
Yeah.
at one point, somebody like knocked on the captain's door and then like opened it with a knob, and it was like very out of place, hilarious. Explaining Trek to other people is a special kind of delightful that I highly recommend people get into.
The only other show that is more insane to explain to people is Once Upon a Time. That's because that show is batshit crazy.
No, I have a show that's even harder. I mean, for me, every time that I try to explain Lost to a non-Lost person, the back of my head just explodes within 20 minutes because I'm like, just. But yeah, that's just me.
This episode is so good, and there's so much going on. I like that there's kind of a for Culber's whole thing this season. There's like here's it could be more scientific explanation. It could be like spiritual. I like there was like a mix of like you're not sure.
Yeah, I really like where his story went because as you guys have been noticing, if you've been watching us throughout this first reaction series that we've been doing here since the beginning of the season, I was not pleased where Cobra was going. I was like, what are they doing with him? Because it seemed like one week they were doing one thing and the next week they were doing the other thing. But I like the way that his story kind of came to a semi-conclusion in that he has some memories from that individual that inhabited him early on in the season. So I like the way that the writers integrated that I didn't see coming. So I was like, I like this.
That was one of the things I pointed out at the time. Was like I don't want any mystical mumbo jumbo. It's like, come on, that was too much.
Yeah, for me, it was this was other than Moll, this was a weak link for me in this season. I saw what they were going for. I thought it was interesting, but the execution was really wonky. Like I'm glad others liked it because for me, I was just like, wait, is he having a crisis of faith? Is he having an existential crisis? Does he like? They do keep memories from the Jintara, so why doesn't he have them? And like there just wasn't enough of a through thread, and then like his weird grandma therapy, like. There's a lot of weird pieces being put together, and so like I wanted to like it more than I did.
Holograma.
The therapy that we all agreed was a terrible idea.
Trev loved it. I'm gonna throw him under the bus. He thinks it's a great idea.
I just want to say I think the holotherapy could work with some serious regulations as to who uses it and how they use it.
To me, also the implication of like what Culber's been going through this season made me wonder how much, like, again, obviously, like canon changes as things go on, but it made me think there's like implications of like what happened with Riker when he had a Trill symbiote.
Yeah,
like, how much was he holding on to after the fact?
And they could have weaved more throughout. Like maybe he did have memories, but I don't know if they're my memories or Janal's, and like thread that needle throughout the episodes. And like maybe that's why he seeks this new therapeutic method. That's why he's like, I'm remembering these numbers, and then he knows that he needs to be on this shuttle to help out, and then he remembers that number again. Like it just wasn't it just wasn't done effectively, in my opinion. Like I could kind of see what they were.
If they still wanted to do that, but if they used what was I trying to say? Blue DeBarro's character. Why is my brain gone?
Adira.
There's him. Adira. Sorry. We don't ever see them using their past lives to do anything. It seems like it would be really nice if that had somehow been brought in and like
they forgot that they're a Trill.
Maybe.
Okay, a little bit.
I mean, not that does. Then it gets Hugh out of the way, and that's not what they're meant to do. But I'm just saying, like, just. Logically,
although it is interesting watching this season where I was like, Hugh was not like a lead character in the first season, and I was watching because he definitely has more screen time than Anthony Rapp does in this season.
Anthony Rapp in the later seasons, I feel, became like an almost an afterthought. He became like the guy that they go to explain science thingamabobs, and he really didn't get that much to do. I mean, he was a much more involved. He was a much more involved character in the earlier part of the show than in the second half. I mean, to me,
Face the Strange, he had a lot to do.
yes,
He
that's
did
true.
have a lot to
Basic.
do in Face is Strange.
Yeah.
I feel like you saw more. I just felt like you saw more of Cobra than Stamets in this season. Or when you saw Stamets, it was usually in like a group scene where he was like, "I'm here to help solve this issue."
Or
Right.
bouncing off of Adira or something.
I really enjoyed that this season. Like their kind of like tech play off of each other.
Mm-hmm.
Warp particles from Voyager.
I really liked Adira and Stamets scene where like Adira is like having to comfort their father figure. When their father figure was like, "Oh no, I almost had all of the science."
Yeah.
Also, say I
It's like
mean,
sometimes it's okay to not have answers, and he's
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, you're not getting it." It's like I wanted that information.
Speaking of science, another thing that I wanted to bitch about, and I don't mean to be negative Nancy in this because I loved this episode. I love this show.
Mhm.
I was a little disappointed in the pathway drive. Like it, so we've now seen it. It's a different kind of bubble. It's faster and more powerful than warp, and because of the burn and whatnot, it seems to be insinuated that it is not dilithium
Mhm.
reliant.
Then what is it, Reliant? How does it work?
Who knows?
I
I
don't
like
know.
I like and like even if they weren't going to tell us how it works, I was hoping for something like I was hoping it was going to be like the portal from Picard season 3.
Mm.
And like just say it can't go as far as the spore drive. That's why Stamets is still has a bee in his bonnet about not using the spore drive because
Yeah.
the pathway drive isn't as good. But like,
It's powered by Hugh's faith.
if you don't have faith in something,
Yeah.
the pathway drive will not work.
I
I wanted to see more of Voyager. Jay, like something.
Yeah.
Like,
that'd be fun.
they should have come in.
Oh,
at
and
some point.
another thing. No. Season 4, this has happened in 2 finales now. The shuttles are, I think, too perfectly aligned.
Oh my god!
Those large
Oh, yeah,
batches of shuttles. It
It's
looks
just weird.
cool and like, yeah, it's the future, sure, but like, it feels
like a
very
parking
copy
lot.
and paste. Yes.
Yeah, that too.
I
Like you have all this other space that you can use. You don't need to be in lines.
Yeah, but it looked really cool. Especially at the end where there's like that kind of like it looked almost like an X-Men homage, like a giant X of ships after Disco jumped away. And
It
I
also
love
seemed
seeing
like maybe they were
3
all
of
there
those stations
seeing.
now.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
I
I
would
put that
also
in my
like to know
poster.
where they are since they're not hovering over Earth, but
Oh, yeah.
it was cool.
Good question. Where were they when it was just one? Just kind of like in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, they when they were still using all the ships to create a shield around it and cloak it, they insinuated that it was in the middle of nowhere. It then in season 4 it travels to Earth, but now in season 5 it was elsewhere. And at times when the plot required it, there were no ships around it.
Maybe it just moves around. It's like the archive.
Trevor's getting really bitchy with me in the comments.
Yeah, no grudge. I was a little upset about that.
Trevor and I are good friends, just so everybody knows in the chat. We're being bitchy with each other in jest. And I know what a formation is.
It did feel
Trevor.
like that for the last scene. Okay, they're paying homage to the ship or something like that. I could kind of see that being a formal military or whatever.
Okay, I have a question about that last
Formation.
jump. Was that done by her son? Who did the last jump of Discovery in the future?
This is your crew. Like there must have been more
Yeah.
people on there.
Stamets had to be there.
Yeah.
Or
oh yeah.
My
book
Or
thought
Vision.
my thought was maybe her son, because her son would be half Kalajan.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
But then I was literally like, how are you jumping?
But they insinuated that he said I moved it back a day
Yeah.
so that I could be here for you.
Yeah, He moved back his promotion to like.
So I don't think he was actually heading out with her. It didn't seem
Yeah.
like.
I don't know. Maybe Stamets has
She
a
seemed
child
like she
that
was
he's
alone,
passed on
which is
tardigrade DNA to.
Mm.
Could be. Or
Yeah,
they've
that
just
was-
figured it out at this point. It's been
Yeah.
a lot of many years.
It's been a while. Maybe
They
that's
also
fun.
insinuated a lot with this epilogue, which I love. Like I loved it. Did anybody else get the vibe that Admiral Vance is still in charge?
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
weird. Like he's
That
They
was like
referenced
fairly
him
old
like
at this
Yeah.
point.
yeah,
How
So
like
old are you?
Commander Vance.
and like
I just
and
saw
like, sure it's what the 30 it's 1200 years in the
Yeah.
future for us.
I'm just
Like, are you not bored? Do you not want to do something else?
he's hanging out
Yeah,
with
I mean, yeah, I
Or
don't.
does he still
like,
look hot? I need these
Mhm.
questions answered. Is
Somebody-
Admiral Vance at, I would assume, 90 something or 110 something? Is he still hot? Is Daddy hot? I need to know.
because I was trying to think like how old is Vance now? Like, because I was like, I actually thought Admiral Vance is human, right? Like
Mhm.
that's what I was like.
as far as we
I've
know.
been doing this thing in my writing projects where if I don't know the age of a character, I just go with the age of the actor.
See,
Yeah,
the actor is
That's
53 currently.
he is older than I
God,
thought.
Commander in Chief of Starfleet at 93? Retire, boo.
Like,
Go to a beach.
Either that or maybe he was just mentioned. No, it didn't
Mhm.
sound like he was still in active duty. I was gonna say maybe he just saw him
I-
or something like that and just
Yeah.
called him that still.
I don't think his daughter would be an admiral. That's
Oh, that's an interesting point.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
um.
But he would-
yeah,
I think that would
Admiral
make-
Thaddeus' hotness is a universal constant. Yeah, I think he probably still looks good, but he should be tired. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Show him still in command, making good decisions, but just taking a little bit longer.
yeah.
Michael,
It's like Star Trek, so very, very tired.
I need you to take
Oh my God.
Discovery.
She's like,
Out
You know
to
what's funny? The funny thing is, and they're also talking about Kovic, and I'm like, I totally believe Kovic is still
the
alive.
nebula.
Yeah.
No questioning that Kovic is still alive.
I think when he's not there,
He's also
he's just
a time traveler, right?
Yeah.
So,
When he's
He
not
just
there,
goes-
he's somewhere not aging.
yeah, exactly. Or he
Yeah,
is aging, but
I think
he
he's
just
jumping
skips
to the
ahead to
next
every
point that
time.
he needs to contact them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. People are making
Good.
good points in the comments. He could have just been referred to as such, and because yeah, you
This
you
is
talk
true.
about the admiral even if they're
Yeah.
not still in charge,
Yeah.
but also like let's not be ageist, Aaron. Maybe at 93, I'm kidding. Maybe at 93 he
Okay,
is
it
still in
did-
charge.
I did think he was giving her orders,
It did seem like
despite
that. didn't
also
it?
being an
Yeah.
admiral.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, Burnham being an admiral at that age made complete sense to me.
Yeah, and also Agent Daniels. How like speaking of skincare, like at 800 years old, like if he's
Well-
only in his 60s or 70s, he looks what you would think. If he's over 800 years old, he looks fucking fantastic.
Do we think? Do we
I
think
think he's just-
Daniels has had plastic surgery to hide, like, to change his features?
Some
He
Sona.
doesn't look
work.
like him.
No,
Yeah.
I don't.
Definitely.
I think he's just like he's been time traveling, agenting forever, and now he's finally looking old.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I wanted the
he
ability to
got that
change my clothes. with the-
Sona facelift.
I did like.
You know,
the,
he's seen enough. He
Captain
wants to
that
age
changes
gracefully.
the uniform.
I would say I could see that personality changing enough when, like, after just seeing so much of the time, more just being like, oh god.
Ooh,
Well, no,
Doug
no.
Jones just like my tweet.
Time War.
Wait,
That's a different franchise.
wait, what did you say, Stan?
Doug
was-
Jones liked my tweet.
Oh, that's cool.
Sorry, that just happened in real time and I got excited.
That,
I don't
that's
seem
fair.
excited because I'm on 4 hours of
That's
sleep
worth
and I'm very
getting
tired.
out.
Mhm.
But I tagged
Right.
Michelle Paradise in it. It was my tweet saying how lovely, Discovery is the first Trek show in my adulthood, and being able to watch it and then
Mhm.
be part of this crew, the Salon crew, it was just really special, and I'm really thankful to everybody involved. So it was
Aw.
Yeah.
nice
Yeah,
to just
that's-
notice that he liked the
I would
tweet.
say This
When
is the
Jesse-
first Trek show I got to watch live. Like,
Yep.
so
Same for
Yes,
me.
it's a
yeah.
lot to me.
Same for me.
I mean, not live for me, but with other people, yes.
Jesse
No, and
had
I.
mentioned.
Oh no, sorry, Aaron. I actually tagged Michelle Paradise and Alex Kurtzman in my tweet, so that was cool.
I should have been tagging people in my tweet. Apparently, I was running out of characters.
I usually don't. It's
Yeah.
it's a rare thing because, like, when I tweeted about how lovely meeting Nana Visitor was, I did because like more heartfelt stuff is.
Yeah.
I'm not suggesting anybody here does this, but like I do see some people constantly tagging the actors and the creatives in their basic bullshit. I'm like, give them a break.
Yeah, I try not to do it unless it's like, a big thing or a
I'll
design
usually
features
do
them
it
or something.
If it's something I worked hard. If
Nice.
I'll admit it, I've done it for videos that feature that actor because I usually have worked hours on this. But like, if I'm just tweeting normally, no. Although I have had people where I won't tag a person and then someone will tag them under, and I was like, I was trying
Yes.
not to bother them.
I had to block somebody because they were doing some problematic nonsense, and I'm worried that I'm gonna run into them in Vegas again. This person tagged one black woman saying, "Oh, you could be Stacey Abrams' ancestor." I'm like, why? Because she's also a black woman. It did not compute to this idiot how racist he was being. And when I call him on it, it's just clutching of the privilege pearls. I'm like, that's not what I meant. Like,
Ooh.
I don't care what you meant.
Mm-hmm. This is true. You can photo tag more people in photos, and tagging
No.
people in photos makes sense to me. If I like,
Yeah,
taking a
oh, for
photo
sure,
and
for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're in it.
Yes.
Also, one of my
So-
favorite bits is to tag a friend of mine, any number of friends of mine, as the trash can if it happens to be in a photo. Favorite thing.
No,
Like, I'm not in this photo. Guess again.
That's some good lighthearted fun. Yeah, this episode was good. I'm trying to think of more. That
Yeah,
wedding,
no,
I wanna hang out where that wedding was / where they were making out. That looked gorgeous. I want to go to that beach.
Yeah, that beach
That was
looked
probably
beautiful.
an AR wall, but
Yeah, AR one. Yeah.
In fact, I'm gonna hop out to that beach now and
go to the
try to zen myself before the salon in half an hour. But lovely as always. I love having this time with you all, and I will probably not see you all next week unless we're just want to talk about anything and everything.
Series wrap up.
Yeah, I think that's what we're going to be doing for the salon. We'll be talking. We're going to do a season wrap up because we've done the previous 4 just for the symmetry, and then we're probably
your
going to move
instant
on
reaction to the series.
Yeah. All right. Hope to see you all at the salon in half an hour at Salon Trek here on YouTube. Thank you.
Yeah,
Bye.
Everyone should definitely check out
I
the
should have done
salon.
that.
It's always fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I love that foam finger thing.
Oh yeah, that was so fun. Did they give you 2 of them, or were you able to snatch them?
They at the end they had a bunch of them left and nobody
Yeah.
was taking them, and she's like, "You can take an extra one if you want." And then some people took like 6. So,
Oh my!
I was gonna get one for everybody in the group, and then I was just like, I would have to take like a stack, and there'd be somebody who was left out, and I was like, okay, I'm just taking one for each hand.
That was the right call.
I
Yeah.
often do that if I'm like leaving a show and I know people left like their playbills, and I'm like, mine.
Yeah.
I get extras now.
I have like a lot of celebrities like the cards from Comic-Con because they just leave them up there, and I'm like, just take that because they're gonna throw them away. So I have Bruce
Oh, cool.
Boxliners and a couple other people.
That's always fun.
Yeah.
I have a box in my closet full of I have a couple. I've only been to like 6 plays in my life, but I have a box full of my playbills.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Mine are like in a box somewhere. Most of them.
Yeah.
It looks up to anyone that my Wicked ones are with my Wizard of Oz collection. So that.
Yeah, of course they are.
I'm trying to think. I think my mom has my picture of me with Leonard Nimoy. I was just realizing that, and I was like, I haven't seen that in a long time. Where is that?
All the times I've met Star Trek actors and taken pictures of, most of those pictures exist on a phone. Here.
That's fair. In my case, I was 13.
Yeah.
The year was 2003. We didn't have that yet.
Well,
Yeah, I like.
we're gonna lull you to sleep. So
Like um we were talking about tagging actors and creatives and on tweets, and I remember having this wonderful conversation a couple years ago with one of the Discovery writers. As a matter of fact, this young woman was supposed to be the young woman who was going to write the Section 31 TV series
before
with
that,
her writing partner.
yeah.
Oh
She
yeah.
was such a cool person, and it's so a shame that she sort of worked on Discovery for like a season after that, and then I guess her contract was up and they didn't ask her back. But she was such a nice person.
They were, yeah. Never mind. I have a story about that, and I probably shouldn't share it because
I will be bothering you.
How they were
later.
told about Section 31. Yeah, exactly.
I'll be bothering
Okay.
you later, Aaron.
Just
I shall.
think of
No,
Paramount and
no,
how Paramount
no.
acts. So just
Yeah, but no. I will be too because I want to know this.
I guess I'm trying to think of any last minute thoughts on the finale. We talked about this. We all guessed wrong on what they were going to do with that route of the. We all thought it was going to be with the progenitor attack, and they just planted it.
Yeah,
I did like they were basically had like we're regrowing Quajon, like not the people, but like we at least have the like earth of it. And I did okay. This is true. When their son first came, I was like kept waiting for them to say his name, but the thing is, I guessed wrong every single time because I kept thinking of people from Burnham's life. And when they said Leto, I was like, oh, it's someone from Book's life. I'm like, that's cute.
Yeah. Also, the way you were saying about regrowing Quajon, except the place, not the people, made me think it's like it's a reverse Thor Ragnarok.
Oh yeah. I also just now realized, basically, for both Michael and Book, all of their family is gone. What trauma to bond over.
Yeah.
Trauma bonding. No.
Well, her mom was still around. Oh, wait, did something happen in season 4 that I missed?
No, I don't know where her mom is. Actually,
okay.
Genuine question.
Yeah.
Well, she was with
she's with
Coat Malott or whatever.
Coat Malott.
Yeah.
As far as I remember. But I don't know why we don't see her ever.
So are we under the assumption that she passed away, or is she still alive?
No. As far as
I mean, probably by the time we got to the Admiral,
maybe by that future, that would if they had said, "Oh, her mother has passed away since then," it's 40 years later. That makes sense.
Yeah, that's fine.
But I don't. It would be fun to see her be grandma.
That would be cool.
Yeah, I guess I just assume that how do you pronounce it again? The Quaj.
Quamaj. Yeah.
Quamaj. I would just assume that's like a for life thing. Like you're in. So like that's what she's doing. And they haven't needed them for this season, so that's why we didn't see them.
Yes, but I assume they're there for life. But are they not allowed to take PTO and go see their daughter?
They have to tell the truth, right? That's their thing. Maybe Burnham just I don't need my mom telling me how I'm raising my child wrong and all this stuff. Just grandma doesn't come around anymore.
Brutal.
Grandma giving your child absolute candor all the time.
Yeah.
Absolute candor turns out to be some fucking bullshit.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's like the absolute candor turned out to be that person who's I'm just brutally honest all the time. You're just a dick. You're never.
Yeah, I'm a dick. But I'm a dick with sword fighting training. So.
You ever notice how brutally honest people are never brutally nice?
I'm just gonna be honest. That looks amazing on you.
Yeah. See, if they were doing that, I would be fine with it. Sorry, I just saw the corner. Sleepy puppy.
Oh yes.
My
cat is upset for me for some reason. Keeps coming by and why are you not off the computer?
Also, do we assume Grudge is still alive in the 40-year flash forward?
Oh,
No, I
Yes.
don't think so.
I can't think about that. So yes.
I'm assuming because I always just assume she's not a regular cat.
yeah, that was the other thing. Maybe she's not.
Well, she's not in that. She's definitely a Maine Coon, right? Like.
Well, you know what I mean, like an alien of some variety.
You know what? Maybe she's a Flurkin, right?
Oh yeah. Or
Right.
she's whatever the ISIS was, and
Thomas is right there.
Well, I don't
For
know.
Thomas cameo.
Do you mean Assignment Tomorrow or
Simon? Oh yeah, Simon Earth.
Simon Earth? Well, wait, wouldn't that make her like a person? Like,
yeah,
cat
I mean,
form?
she's a queen. Yeah, she's just like. You know.
Okay, I'm just saying that book keeps her as like a pet, so it's a little.
Yeah, but it could be her undercover.
True.
And she's doing it on purpose. Like she's the one who's allowing that to happen.
Maybe Grudge.
I mean, she did fly the ship back to like the seems like headquarters. Oh yeah.
Or maybe Grudge is scared of that weird deer thing.
That was bordered on like not the best effect. It wasn't horrible, but
I liked
for TV.
I liked it in theory. It was not the best CGI in the world.
Yeah,
but
I've seen a lot worse on the CW.
It was called Alice. I thought that was cute. So we got a little bit of a callback to
our standards cannot be us. The CW DC shows.
I liked that she's called Alice. We got a little bit nod of Alice in Wonderland.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying that Star Trek was originally a broadcast TV show. We should be holding to broadcast standards.
Their wigs are significantly better on this show.
Oh, good.
Or
except for Moll's.
Except for
Moll's.
No.
What was it? A shake bake wig?
No. Moll's is still better than the CWDC wigs.
That could
they
be.
are the future Oliver Queen wig is one of the worst things I've ever seen.
Oh my god.
That is up there with like Chris Pine in Bottle Shock. And if you've never seen that, it's a very good movie where Chris Pine has the worst wig in the world.
That's unfortunate.
Chris Pine is supposed to be like a hippie character, and it's a really bad wig. Only Grudge can be instructed.
That would be funny.
Mm-hmm. There is a book, a physical book about Grudge. I gave one today for his birthday.
I did a cover of a comic with Grudge.
You did.
Nice.
Yeah, that ended up being the cover for the what is it when the trade
paper
book when
trade
they put them all
paperback.
together. Yeah.
Nice.
He's looking at a black, she's looking at a black hole, and it was before the black hole ever showed up, anything like in Discovery. And then like shortly after, it's like, oh, you must have got that information and put it together. I'm like, nope, it's just something I wanted to do.
Do we think so? You know what I didn't notice is that they with that jump to the future, they left it vague enough that if they ever want to do a Discovery movie, nothing's going to contradict. Like they can do a bunch of stuff and not contradict anything in that future.
Unless someone die, like Tilly or Vance die, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess the ones that can't die are Burnham, Book, Tilly, Vance.
Kovich.
I thought Kovich.
Did we
see Kovich back in the present, not the flash forward? I thought
they referenced him.
They say something about Kovich.
Oh, okay.
Then it makes me imply that Kovich is alive.
Kovich is a time traveler, so he can be alive.
That's also fair.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, every time he time travels, he's not going somewhere else and not aging. He's just going to the next point we see him.
Also, since he's a time traveler, he could, theoretically put himself in some kind of a stasis for X amount of years. Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know if that's better or worse because I just realized that my implication of him just going to the next scene that we see him means he has no interior life. He has no person.
He just has a lot of work.
Paper, and he's good at his job. That's all we know.
Yeah.
No, he clearly goes back and is David Cronenberg. I'm keeping my theory. It's just
the important personal artifacts of major characters.
He goes back to the future. He's going to be a David Cronenberg. Oh my God.
That would track for Cronenberg. So
So the genuine question. So they say time travel is banned. Do we think he's still able to time travel?
Oh yeah,
Of
that's
course,
true.
yeah. Hell yeah.
You can ban a lot of
think
things.
it's
You got to
banned.
be able to enforce it.
Yeah, I would
Sure.
say
Yeah,
that,
no,
like,
I mean, no, and
that's what they were doing in the 29th century, and even though that wasn't banned, they were still basically time cops.
Yeah, and Daniels, or AKA Kovic, doesn't seem like someone who follows the rules. He seems like someone.
This is what I was wondering. Do we think?
Yeah, he pulled Archer out even though he wasn't supposed to, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Do we think that? Okay, this is what I was wondering. Do we think they're going to merge the Memory Alpha articles for Daniels and Kovic? And I'm on
Probably.
the Memory Alpha for Kovic. It says notice. It is suggested
was like-
the article should be merged with Daniels.
I was gonna say, I looked when I looked this morning when I was watching the episode, I was like, oh, okay, nope, these are still separate articles. This might become a discussion.
Yeah.
I also feel
now
like the
there's a
Memory
notice.
Alpha people are the kind of like, well, they say he's this person, but like they have their own
I,
Well,
opinions.
I was like, it'd be hard because he didn't say which Daniels he is, right? Like,
Yeah.
other than potentially being a time traveler and potentially being
They're the
the same
people who-
name.
Say that the Orions, which they mispronounce in TAS, are a separate species from the Orions. Like, no, that's not. They aren't. I don't know if that's been fixed. I think that got changed, but it was just like, come
That's
on.
hilarious.
I was like, that's some pedanticness that I don't agree with, but I can respect.
Yeah.
I agree that Memory Alpha should merge them. The only one I do agree with is that they have the J.J. Abrams versions of characters in the different articles.
Yeah,
Because they're
Different
completely
timeline.
different timelines.
Yeah.
because they do that with other characters too that have like a timeline specific
Yeah.
version.
But no, I thought about this when I first watched the episode, and then I was watching a screener and I almost went to check, and I went, this episode's not out, what are you doing?
Yeah, I've done that before.
No, of course it's not fixed yet. Even if they have seen it, they're going to wait.
That would be weird if they.
There
Yeah.
was also a version, Daniels died in the
Mhm.
episode. There's also, if you play Star Trek Online, Daniels also there's a thing with Daniels that he dies and comes back.
Oh, that's getting changed.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, he comes back and that's fine.
Star Trek Online has fully been like, their timeline does not match. So like,
I think they've said that that's a different continuity.
yeah.
That makes sense.
STM.
It's basically everything in Picard contradicted what they were already doing. So like,
Right.
Yeah.
Also, the
Yeah,
idea
yeah,
of Daniels being a James Bond-esque code name is interesting.
Yeah. Also, I really come to the understanding that because I've been around so many more people that know so much more about Star Trek and take it more hardcore than I do, and when they start talking about the timey-wimey, wibbly wobbly stuff, I go, guys, it's just like. I mean, if you try to think about it, it's never going to make sense because time travel doesn't make
doesn't make
sense. So, being that, Star Trek Online has its own continuity and this thing over here has its own continuity, I'm like, fine, just don't think about it.
Right,
But I'm not complaining or anything.
Yeah. Although I did like if Daniels is a code name, she asked him, what's your real name? Kovic is a code name, and then he gave him a different code name, which is hilarious. The implication.
Which seems like something a deep
because
operative would do.
Yeah, I mean, do we know that Daniel? It didn't. When you watch it, it feels like it might not be his name in Enterprise.
Maybe
he's just
been,
saying. I'm saying
he's been around so long. He's like, I actually don't remember.
I don't remember my name.
It might be Tim.
Gene Rodden something.
It might.
Yo.
It might be David. Like,
yeah,
David.
Does that sound right?
Also, if he would have if he would have been like a version of a traveler, I think I would have lost my mind too.
This episode was making me think about like what are the travelers been up to since the burn?
Yeah.
Thankfully, he wasn't Wesley.
Oh my god!
Actually, no, that would have been amazing. If you saw my Wesley Crusher, I would have lost my mind.
I would say it would be less creepy. Him having the visor would have been less creepy.
That's true.
That would have been Oh, Wesley having Geordi's visor. Oh, he has a remembrance of his friend. Fine.
Maybe his visor went into a museum or something like that. It's just
Yeah.
that's because he
No, but like
wasn't.
it,
He
no,
gets
but
rid of
if
it.
they,
Daniel's Grover.
yeah, if they did, if they did Will Wheaton being Kovich, like it would have been cool if like Kovich would have been sitting there and all of a sudden, Burnham asks who he is, and then we have like this cool effect where he sort of leans back in the chair and he turns into Will Wheaton before our eyes. That would be like the coolest thing
And
ever.
then he would just be the most overacted, like.
Oh my god! Hi, hi.
Would Will Wheaton have to have the
I'm Wesley
glasses?
Crusher.
Okay.
See, I think the idea of this is just like Will Wheaton older.
Yeah.
That we just use Cronenberg.
Right, yeah.
Well, not Will Wheaton. Wesley Crusher.
Oh God. That.
Wesley Crusher.
Ooh. That's some dark stuff.
Jesus Christ. I
Well,
assume
no, it's
Geordi's
Data's eyes because they're robot eyes.
Yeah.
Does he have Picard's artificial heart from his other body? Like,
Oh my god.
Well, I
why are you
assume
collecting body parts?
The eyes Geordi ends up with, the eyes Geordi has like in Picard are like artificial eyes, right?
Oh, I thought they were his eyes, but with like artificial add-ons.
No, I think
because I
no,
remember
Is it genetically regrown? No, they weren't because they look different.
in there is a future. I want to say maybe it's all good things. They say
where he has
cloned eyes.
Yeah,
but I think basically his eyes. I think the eyes he actually has now are like visor but eye form.
Yeah.
Okay, I just always figured they crafted whatever that visor piece was on, like grafted it onto his actual eyes. That was just my thought.
If anyone knows what the hell's going on with Geordi's eyes, let us know.
I'm just looking. Geordi's eyes upgrade fixes a Star Trek Generations, but this is from May 4th of last year. Let's see. It's also Screen Rant, so there's take it with a grain of salt kind of a thing.
Yeah, it could go either way.
At least they're not Collider, because Collider's really shaky.
I'm looking at his Memory Alpha article and see if I might have way too much information, but it'll.
So anyway, Star Trek Discovery was really good.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yes, it was.
It's tangentially related. It's better than another episode.
It is not my fault that Geordi's visor was up there. Somehow
that was in the episode.
Somehow Geordi's visor ended up in the series finale of Discovery and not Picard.
Yeah.
They did enough throwbacks in the finale of Picard. I don't think the story could handle the weight of another piece of Remember This.
Wait, was that
They're ocular implants, so that could mean two things.
Yeah,
ocular implants. Okay.
Did people think he was going to be assumed? See, he wasn't played by Brent Spiner, so it didn't occur to me.
In Star Trek Nemesis, Geordi, this must have implied that the removal of what was left of his temporarily regenerated eyes to put in the new implant. That would be interesting.
They
if that's what
regenerated
allowed him.
the Sona planet, or not Sona, the Baku.
Yeah, that's what it was. Sorry, we had to take your eyes
Baku
out now.
real smug after the burn.
I think I would say, luckily, with the things, at least with Star Trek: Strange New Worlds, they've kind of gotten to the idea that maybe they should be casting in like Indian people for that role, and not white / Spanish. That's what Mexican. What is Ricardo Montalban?
He's I think he's Mexican.
Yes.
Correct.
Not white, but also not Indian. It's like
Also not alive.
yeah,
yeah.
that's true.
The plane. Sorry. Sorry.
But still, maybe got the thing of maybe not better.
He was born in Mexico City, Mexico, so you can't be much more Mexican than that, I guess.
So I guess we all still think Mary Wiseman's in the Discovery show, even though they haven't announced that, right?
Yeah. Well, no, and if she's not in the Discovery show, it'll be
no,
the biggest missed
Academy
opportunity
show.
ever.
Yeah.
The Academy show. Yeah.
It's so weird.
I can't imagine.
I thought they were. I legitimately thought they were going to announce it today.
Mm.
That was my thought, and I was like,
Actually,
Where
you know
is
what? Maybe
announcement?
Maybe they'll do that in a
maybe-
couple days and let Discovery have its moment.
That's what I was gonna say.
Moment,
Is, yeah,
yeah.
have it like on Monday of next week, like one to start the news cycle off, and
Yeah.
two to let Discovery's have its press time.
have
It might
its
actually
moment.
then give Discovery more of a
Mhm.
bump just
Yes.
because it's like that's new news on top of the fact that the show's
Yeah.
ended.
I noticed that too, where they're like, let's do a mentorship program. And
Oh.
I want
Yeah.
Grumpy Rayner showing up.
All right, kids, you want to not die?
Yeah.
Follow my orders and don't be an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah, follow my orders and don't be an idiot.
I love the immediately. Did you just call me grumpy? And they're like, yes. Like,
I don't know. The first time I heard it, I didn't hear grumpy. I can't remember what I heard, but it was like, oh, okay, that's not what it said. Like crummy or something like that.
oh,
It's like,
that's the one.
seems like a
problem-
word that they wouldn't use.
The one problem with screeners is that you don't get subtitles with them. So
Yeah.
sometimes you're like, what the heck?
And sometimes the audio isn't fantastic either, just
Yeah.
because it hasn't been processed all the way through.
And like occasionally when they're saying made up Star Trek stuff, it's hard to like figure out what they're saying. To be fair, I think maybe the burn didn't make everyone forget about mentors. It killed a bunch of them. Is probably the...
It was fun with some of the screeners early on when the Klingons were talking. They
Goddamn
didn't have
worse.
subtitles.
Yeah.
So you're just like watching people at each other and like, okay, I'm gonna
Wait.
guess what's happening.
Wait, you said they didn't for the Klingon stuff?
Yeah, they like some of them just
Oh
didn't have
My
subtitles. So
God.
Oh
and so we're
my
just like, oh,
God.
that's a really brave choice to be able to do that. To let the audience guess what's going on. Like, I don't think they meant to do that. And then we saw it, and then they had the horribly hard to read subtitles.
I know RC has heard this story. I thought that's what the Avatar in Avatar was because
The
I saw
Navi.
it. The Navi, fuck. Because I saw it overseas. I saw it off base in Japan, and the subtitles for them were in Japanese, and we just didn't notice. I understood the story as like I got every joke. It took me about 5 years until someone mentioned
What?
something about it, and I
How?
didn't know.
How did that? Oh, okay.
That would be a very different movie.
I
That's very-
had
Understand half of what
no
the characters are saying.
idea what the Navi were saying, and I got every Pocahontas joke. I got every joke people were making about the movie. So it took me a while, and then years later, and then I mentioned it to my brother who saw the movie with me. He also didn't notice.
Oh wow.
In regards to the potential Academy show, the Academy show is announced, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's like a, that's
Yes.
a sure
Yes.
thing.
100%
Just not more
announced.
details.
And we know what
Um,
time
Tawny
period's
Newsom's
happening.
writing on it.
Tawny Newsom's and Holly
Yep.
Hunter will be in it. Those are what
Yeah.
we know.
I now want there to be a Breen Academy cadet or a recruit,
There might be.
The one
and I like the idea that occasionally the universal translator is like, I don't know what he's saying.
Occasionally the universal translator was a dick to Klingons. Like,
Well, it was
Also-
interesting the day that came out, that Holly Hunter was announced. There was somebody on Twitter just like, "Well, I'll believe it when I see it." It's not. There's no indication that show is moving forward. They
Oh, yes,
literally
it
just
is.
announced Holly Hunter's going to be on it. What do you mean?
what, that is
This is a press release, not a gossip.
Yeah.
yeah. Wait, what the?
Okay.
What do you think
That's
a
somebody who
press
just doesn't
release
like
is?
Discovery era stuff.
Yeah. Like I
Um,
stopped making the jokes of about the
Legacy?
Section 31 show when they were like, "Here's a press release from Michelle Yeoh."
Yeah.
I think it was interesting that did you hear the Alex Kurtzman explaining why it's in the 32nd century, not like in the 25th.
I saw that.
What
That's
did he
a
say
really
about
good
that?
point.
I totally
Really
forgot that.
like that explanation.
Yeah.
What did he say?
You want to?
Sure.
Yeah.
So he was saying that the time period of it being a little more uncertain what the future is more accurate to what young people right now are doing.
And right after the burn, they went through all that.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was
That's-
explaining he has a 17-year-old son, and he was like, "This is the world he's experiencing right now, and I want to make a show for him." And I was
Okay,
And if you
well,
made
that
one that was set in Picard's time, it would almost be
Yeah.
a fantasy.
yeah,
I think
Yeah.
he said something like that.
and
which is-
I
That's
especially appreciate it as a father trying to make something that's for his child,
for his son. Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus,
I mean,
also setting it in like the 24th, 25th century era keeps making me think, well, then you just have, no matter what good stuff happens to these people, I just imagine the burn is like looming.
Yeah.
I think a lot about the burn when I think about Star Trek now.
yeah. No, I think
It's like our eventual heat death from the sun. It's a long way
heat
off.
death from the sun. No,
Yeah,
I
it's
think
coming.
that's a very
Think about it.
Yeah.
I think that's a very logical, well thought out explanation by Alex Hirschman. I think it makes a lot of sense to do something like that. But
Yeah.
you can't when it comes to me, you can't listen to me with anything I have to say about him because I adore the man.
Yeah.
He's one of my favorite writers of all time. So
I was praising it too. I really like that explanation, and I like, because again, like, you have to make things for like the current young people. Like, if you would like Star Trek to continue for another, we're almost 60 years in. Like,
almost
yeah.
No, I say all the time to people who don't like this era of Star Trek. It's either I'm like, okay, if you want Star Trek to remain as one thing as it used to be when it first came out in the 60s and how it was in the 90s, then Star Trek is just going to die off and it's not going to go anywhere. But if Star Trek truly wants to continue, it has to be evolved it has to be allowed to change and become a little bit different.
And I thought, like, I guess that is what bringing it back to Discovery. That is like Discovery ushered in making new Star Trek. There wasn't like, there was never going to be a built-in like huge franchise based off the movies, because that's not what Star Trek is.
Yeah.
Right.
And they weren't that popular, or the new ones, the newer ones, the Kelvin ones.
And
Especially the
I love
second
that
one.
Discovery was able to like usher in that time period. And it brought me a bunch of friends, like all of you, except RC, because I already knew you. But
Friends? I rate acquaintance in all of our.
You talk to me daily.
Yes. Also, while I love the way that Star Trek is evolving, I would very much love it to devolve back to longer seasons.
Well, yeah, that.
It's like that meme about video game graphics. I want more episodes with longer record periods, and I'm okay with like less special effects.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I would. I come from a time. I mean, I grew up on the WB. I watched Felicity, Dawson's Creek, a bunch of stuff that probably like, you're a Star Trek fan. You watch all this girly stuff. Yes, I do. I really like longer form television, but I do think a Star Trek series around 16 to 15 episodes would be cool.
Yeah, I think that's a good length.
If you're trying to do like an overarching story, the short seasons like work, but like I would also be okay with a little more episodic.
I would.
Well, like if they were making longer seasons, like maybe have a couple arcs within that season, but like more episodic by comparison. Like Strange New Worlds in a lot of ways. I really don't like the way they handle it.
So you would be comfortable.
I wouldn't mind if they brought something back like Short Treks to be like, let's just pop in on this character every now and then to like
That'd be
see
cool.
what's up.
Sorry, guys. No, but I wanted to say, RC. So you would like Star Trek seasons to be like 22, 21 episodes again?
I mean, 18 would be cool too, but just a little longer. Like I said, and I also personally, I'm also okay with them not having a single season long arc. Like I would rather see, like, if we're gonna have, let's say, 12 episodes, I'd be okay with like 4 3-episode arcs or 3 4-episode arcs.
I've been watching the show 911, even though that's like a long season for now. It's still like it's 16 episodes. It's not. I don't know that. Judging from the way actors talk about 20+ season shows, I'm not sure that is what we should go back to. Because
I'm not saying it has to go that high, but
they like.
Okay.
I guess realistically, what I'm actually wanting is less dependence on a single season long arc.
Yeah.
The other
You
issue,
want episodic.
The other issue with going back to 21, 22 episodes, if you do that, the poor writing staff has to come up with a new episode every 8 days. So it's like, what?
But it's also 20x episodes of content available to write, meaning there's potentially opportunities for more writers.
Right. More jobs.
Yeah.
Right.
That
More
would be
jobs.
cool too.
I think they at this point would not be sad about that. Be like, fine.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say no.
Yeah.
Fine. Yeah.
Because like, there's also like a lot of episodes of '90s era Trek that I really like that were like pitched. They were just like, here's an idea we have, as opposed to when you have that single, when you have that single season arc, it's kind of like, well, there's no time to do too many off the wall things. No, I shouldn't say
off the wall ideas.
There's definitely been a lot of conceptual episodes this season. But like, it's less opportunity for an unknown to kind of slip in and be like, here's an idea.
There's less time for like, let's put Data on trial about his humanity real quick.
But to move to RC's point, in the 90s, Michael Piller had this brilliant thing called open submission, where anybody could submit a script into Star Trek, and he could have the potential for it to be bought by the studio, and he could have it made. So I mean, that doesn't exist anymore.
Something like that would be cool, which would be like kind of impossible to do with a shorter season because you just don't have.
That would be impossible.
But you could do maybe one episode that's a pitch.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe I just want an anthology show that's just like, here's a bunch of short treks of different weird character moments.
I wouldn't mind like an actual anthology show where it's like you kind of, or even more like what is it? The American Horror Story, where it's like
you guys do remember that Disco. I mean, the way that the creator Brian Fuller originally envisioned it was he wanted to have a different anthology show, right? A different crew every episode.
Yeah, the legality of the open submission
is crazy.
Is weird.
I'll say the anthology shows, if they try to do something like that, would definitely have to make heavy use of existing sets. Otherwise, you get real expensive.
Definitely.
Or like redress the sets in some way.
I'd be like, and all of them have to happen on the Discovery Bridge. You can't go anywhere else.
Right.
I mean, you could just say that it's between. I'll say, what are our options that we got? We've got a 32nd century ship. We've got a 22nd century ship. We have the Enterprise D, so a Galaxy class.
When
well, that's not there anymore, but yeah.
When Captain Rayner
they took it down. All right, well,
shows up at the end of Picard season 1, he's on the Discovery Bridge.
Yeah. See.
Yep.
Yeah.
I hate to jump, but I have to deal with my cat and client.
No problem. I guess anyone. You don't have to answer this if you don't want to, Aaron. That's what I was like. Anyone have any last minute thoughts on the episode before we wrap up?
I really liked it.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, I know a lot of people love the coda to it, but I'm like, okay, this coda is good, but it felt like to me at the end they were kind of like it kind of ended and then it didn't. It kind of ended. I was like, guys, just bring it home. It kind of stuck around a little bit too long for me, but with that being said, it was great.
See, my great big romantic shipper heart was like, yes, more. Give me
more.
Yeah. I just want like a calm walk through their life kind of.
Give me a cozy domestic book and Burnham show.
Burnham trying to make honey and
Burnham.
I love that one where it was just it's like, well, this could taste good, or it doesn't.
No.
It does not, or whatever she said.
Yeah.
It's you can't go anywhere with me now. But yeah, they had such really good, a loving chemistry. It really felt like it was nice that they got that kind of an ending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That, and no matter if they bring the Discovery cast back, that will be.
Sorry.
This is that Joel?
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Yeah. I don't know why that got me.
If someone just looks into the comments and starts laughing, it's Joel being ridiculous.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. They're related. They're next door to them. Nepenthe is around the corner.
I really love this episode, and I like that Michael Burnham gets to apparently at some point in her life fucking relax.
Yeah, I mean that's a really good point considering where Michael started out in the beginning of the series. She was a mutineer.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Mutineer to Admiral. There we go.
Yeah,
it's the Michael Burnham story.
Yep.
That's the book on somebody's shelf in some future series.
Yeah. That would be the autobiography of Michael Burnham.
Mutineer to Admiral.
Mutineer to mentor.
There you
go.
Yeah, poor Zora. That's what that would be something I forgot. Yeah,
Sora.
I said that and it was just like, oh well, maybe it won't be fast. It'll feel like it's going really fast. But it's like she didn't seem like she was really thrilled. She seemed pretty bad off. So yeah, that was very weird.
Poor Zora is the. Everyone gets a happy ending, but Zora, I'm so sorry. Hopefully, Kovic will come get you because I assume Kovic is somehow still alive.
I'll say Zora went through a lot this episode. She had to tear herself in half in order to teleport an enemy away.
Yeah, Zora was not well.
Sorry, Zora.
Whomst among us would be after 1,000 years? Besides Kovic.
Sorry for giving you sentience and leaving you alone, Zora. Bye.
It's like a cool guy's coming later, and then he will also leave you alone.
Yeah.
So is it the 4,000 or what is it, 4,200s or whatever?
Yeah.
Like if it's 1,000 years. Like she says, it'll probably be after my lifetime. I don't know if they knew that was going to take that long. It's like, yeah, it probably will be, Michael. I don't think the technology to extend your life is
100%, Michael.
Yeah.
You will be dead.
Unless you jump into the future again, which, hey.
Yeah.
Or get caught in a transporter buffer. They're really good now.
Yeah. Hopefully, maybe that should be one of the movies. Go rescue Zora from the terrible fate.
Zora. Good.
But it is interesting how
spore drive tech.
Yeah. Is the spore drive tech? Yeah, it was still in there, right? I mean, unless they didn't take it out.
So.
I thought they couldn't take it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I feel like if they could take it out, they would have put it in a newer ship.
Yeah.
Maybe it's another one of those things where it's like, okay, the something that's the cycle of life that Federation has fallen again, or is in, they need something from the past to give them some sort of,
boost.
emotional boost or something like that, boost morale. And it's Zora.
Zora to the rescue. I'm going to create fan fiction where something nice happens to Zora just because I feel bad.
Kovic takes her and leaves a fake AI that's just like kind of talking to her.
You know what? I really, really like the voice actress who does Zora.
Mm-hmm.
She does a lot of voice acting gigs, and she has a really nice voice.
She was also in Peaky Blinders.
Which is why I feel bad for her, because she makes me emotional. I'm trying to think any last minute. I'm trying to think. My last thought was literally.
I have one.
This is a pretty cast.
Oh, sorry.
That was my last. To bounce off what Rachel was saying, there are moments in this episode where Michael Burnham looked fine as hell, and I'm like, oh my god, you are beautiful, and you're always gonna be beautiful. Sonequa Martin Green always looks gorgeous.
She looks stunning, yeah. The other question I had for everybody.
That's true. Maybe Zora is used to it. The sphere was on for a while.
How long do you think it's going to take Paramount, if they don't get sold for parts, to make a Discovery film, if that's the thing, if they're gonna?
I think it depends on how that Academy show goes, of like how much of the Discovery stuff is in the Academy show.
Okay. Anybody else?
I'm gonna guess. My guess is next 5 years we'll hear something, but I think that will probably be one of the made for Paramount Plus ones, not theatrical.
Not theatrical, right?
Because they can't get their shit together on that.
All right, I'm going to go with Price is Right rules and say next 6 years.
What do you got, Aaron?
No, I got to go, actually. That's why I'm like,
okay.
Bye.
I'm trying to be polite, and I'm like, there's no way to jump in here.
That's fair.
Sorry about.
I would say I'm ready to wrap stuff up. If anyone has any last minute, you can go, Aaron. I'm not trying to keep you.
I'll wait for a second.
I'm all good. I'm all set.
I'm good.
I'm glad Star Trek Discovery happened. That's my. There we go. Yeah, that could be the last. Let's fly. That could be the last words.
It's been so nice getting to chat with all y'all.
Yeah. I would say it's like the one time that didn't annoy me either. Like the Let's Fly for some reason always struck me as weird because it's like they're in space and it's just like I don't know. It felt odd. I don't know. It just never. But in this episode, it really okay. This works.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that.
Yeah, Yeah, it's been great doing the first reactions this season. Hopefully for whatever Star Trek show is next, because we still don't know when Prodigy's coming out, quite when Lower Decks is coming out. We'll see when things come.
Thank you for hosting.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks, Fathery, for
thanks for
letting
having
me
me.
take over, letting me take over your YouTube channel once a week. And yeah, I'll see you guys sometime. That's next time there's a new Star Trek to react to.